Uncle's in the pub.
Hurry up, get that done.
You can't do a damn thing until
Get that rope
get this undone.
Get that untangled up there.
Help.
I'm doing it.
Hey, fellas! Fellas! All of this sheet, make it fast! Hey, you guys. You guys okay over there?
My name is Rene BenDavid. I am from right here in Oak Bluffs, Massachusetts, on the island of Martha's Vineyard, born and brought up. I'm 61 years old, still here, plan on living my life out here.
That is awesome. And yeah, this place is really lovely. You actually have a really lovely place right here. And this is actually very similar to where I'm from, like my neighborhood and everything. So it's kind of feeling like I'm back home.
It's nice, yeah, it's a great feeling. This is the best time of year right now.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's really, really cool weather here compared to where I'm from, where it's still in the 90s right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is a reprieve, you know. So you were actually here on Martha's Vineyard in 1974 while Jaws was being filmed, and you actually had a role in the film. So what was that like, and what are the few what are some of the stories that just stick out in your memory from that time?
Well, I was going into high school from 8th grade, graduated, going into be a freshman, 1974. There was an article in the paper just before it started, looking for different, extras and some casting and whatnot. And my dad was the harbor master at the time in Oak Bluffs. So he had been in touch with some of the people because they were going to leave the 3 mechanical shacks in the Oak Bluffs harbor. So, and at the same time, my dad owned a car dealership, which was right next door to the harbor. So he got to be pretty friendly with Bob Mattey and Joe Alves and a few others that I can't remember the names. So they would come there in the evenings and build up some props, and they were at other locations as well. So they got to know my dad pretty well. And then I decided, well, you know what? I'm going to go do an interview. So we went down to Kelly House where they had the interviews in Eggertown. Did my interview, and I thought I was interviewing for the part where the Searles kids were holding the fin. And then I ended up at the beach being one of Chief Brody's friends in the movie. So basically we were the one, there was myself and one other person, Tommy Mello, and we were on a sailboat, and that was a fun highlight of my life. My scene, it seems like it's forever, but it's only if you blink your eye, I'm gone. But it's still it's one of the most popular scenes from what I'm told, from different Jaws fanatics. But it was fun because I got to hang out for 3 weeks with Robert Shaw, Steven Spielberg. Robert Shaw I didn't get to meet. It was Roy Scheider. Matter of fact, they had a trailer truck with all the dressing rooms in it. And the 3 of us kids, Chris Rebello, who was Michael in the movie, Tommy Mello, and myself, we ended up getting one of the dressing rooms in the trailer, which was right next to Roy Scheider, and then it was Lorraine Gary. So it was pretty neat. All the extras would leave. They'd give them vouchers to go get lunch somewhere in town, and I was able to have lunch right there with all the stars and during my times with there, even when I wasn't filming, because you go there and the wind might not be right, the lighting or whatever. So we got to do a lot of fun things with everybody, just hanging out on the beach and talking. You know, it's who would have known back then? Nobody knew what was going to happen.
Right,
that it was going to be this success. Yeah, and then I remember recently in the last few years, Joe Alves, who was a production designer, he was actually the one that he wrote the letter for my dad, a letter of authenticity for the Harpoon Gun, because ironically my father owned the Harpoon Gun that Robert Shaw used in the movie, and I forget where I was going with it. Joe was here recently. Well, I say recently, within the last year. I'm trying to remember that when, and he was telling myself and I think my mother how he ended up here for the movie. And what happened was Universal went to him. This is what he told him. I may have some of it wrong, but basically he was coming to go visit Nantucket. And this was in either December or January. I can't remember, but I remember he said it was cold and it was a bad northeaster. So he was in Woods Hole to catch the ferry. And at that time, the ferries ran from Woods Hole to Martha's Vineyard and Woods Hole to Nantucket. Nowadays, they run from Hyannis to Nantucket and then Woods Hole to Martha's Vineyard. So he got on the ferry to go to Nantucket, and they ended up turning around because it was so rough. So when he got back into Woods Hole, he said he had walked into the ticket office and said, "Hey, where's the other boat going?" And they said, "Martha's Vineyard." So he got on that boat, came over here, and he started driving around the island, and he fell in love with it. And that's basically how we got here. It was all by mistake. Mm. Yeah, by the sounds of it.
Right. And like, he told the truth. It is beautiful here. Like every part that you go around on this island, like you can drive around all the way around the island, take every road, and it's nothing but beautiful all the way around. I mean, it's truly a paradise.
You appreciate it more than I do, I think, being someone that's visiting. Being here all my life, I try and appreciate it more. And I do appreciate it more ever since I got sick back in '95. It changed my whole life, and I look at things differently. So I do take advantage of some of the things that I normally wouldn't do, that a tourist might. Right. You know, my wife and I will go on these nature walks, and there are tons of things to do here that I say, yeah, I'll do it someday because I'm here, and you never do it. But now you just got to make the time and go. It's like living in New York City. How many people that live there have seen or been out to the Statue of Liberty?
True.
That's one of the higher, that's high on my priority. I haven't been there yet. I've been to the city, but not to the Statue of Liberty. And it's the same way. So I'm starting to get around and see more. And really, things have changed since 1974, and you look at it now. Boy, the island, we could raise some cane back then and not get in trouble.
Exactly how much has changed with the island, and how much has stayed the same?
Well, I'm in the real estate business now, as well as in the trucking business. The trucking I do off island. I'm just a dispatcher, but the real estate I do all on island. And it's recently, in the last couple of years, with the pandemic, it's been so crazy here. People are flocking here, coming from the cities, don't want anything to do with the cities anymore because of all the pandemic, all the COVID. So what they're doing is the ones that had the seasonal homes or come here for the season is coming here year round now. They did a census, I don't know, about a month ago, and the population on the Vineyard has jumped up 25%. And it's just over the last couple years. And it's hard to believe it. Now, I used to know everybody when they drove around. I could wave to every truck, every car. Now, my wife works for the insurance. She's been there 32 years. She knows more people than I do dealing with them. I don't know who's here now. And what, this road, that road. I worked for UPS for a while, thinking, oh yeah, it's gonna be easy. It wasn't easy. No. There were so many roads on this island that I didn't know about. And Luckily, I stayed in, my route was in town, so the areas I did know pretty well. But it was fun. After being in the movie, my dad, he always used to ham it up. We'd go out to dinner with my mom and dad, and would be sitting there, and all of a sudden my father's, oh, did you know he was in Jaws? You know, so I got to tell you, it was, I remember in this one restaurant, they had paper placemats, and he's like, you know, like, somebody come over, they wanted me to sign an autograph for him. So I signed an autograph on the paper placemat, and it's like, from then on, it just kept building and building. But then a few years went by, several years, never thought much about it until the 25-year anniversary came along. And then somebody else on the Vineyard jumped on the bandwagon and decided to do a Jaws Fest. And that brought people from all over the world here, checking out different things. They had book signings. And there was a pretty cool book with that was done, Memories from Martha's Vineyard, which was basically all the vineyarders that were in it, or the islanders, in the movie. They interviewed and they did different skits and pictures, and there was pictures in that book that were not even in the movie that they were able to find. But yeah, it's just a long time goodbye. Didn't think nothing of it. Then that came along, and that kind of sparked it up again. People were like, oh, you know, you got to get me one of those pictures, because I have a picture in my office that of my scene that you saw it. And so now I have people that call me and want that, so I'll autograph it for them and send it to them. And then I don't even charge them. They just pay for the print, you know. I know there's several people that were in the movie that they charge for their autograph. They charge for different things. I do it to have fun. We go out, we have a ball. These shirts we got here, oh, not these ones. I had my Jaws shirt on earlier. A buddy of mine, Chris Rebello, who was Michael in the movie, his brother, he has a few stores on the island here in Oak Bluffs, and he sells the original Jaws shirt, and he has a lot of memorabilia in his place. So we'd go over there and buy a bunch of T-shirts up, and I'd sit down Oak Bluffs Harbor, and people would be coming up, and I'd sign the shirts and just giving them away, you know. It was pretty funny. Yeah, it's a good time. And then, so 25 years went by, and it died off again. And I'm trying to think of the timeline. Did they do it? I can't remember if when they did more than one Jaws Fest.
There was another in 2012.
Okay.
And then after that, there wasn't another one.
Okay, yeah. So just that's what re-sparks everything. And my father was alive then, and they asked us one time they had hired a couple of the fast ferries that go from here to Rhode Island, or here to New Bedford, either one. They asked if my dad and I would go on one and be like a tour guide, and they were going to drive around. And so we took the Harpoon Gun, which is right here, and Jim Bello was on there with us, and we were giving little tours, and it was pretty cool, because now you're feeling like, wow, this is really coming back. And I can't believe how many people love the movie. And to this day, I go on the restaurant, and my friends are like, hey, did he ever tell you he was in Jaws? Because that's a big thing. And as a joke, I started getting these pictures. One week I get a picture in the mail, and it's my scene. It's all in color, and it says in the bottom, did I ever tell you I was in Jaws? 3 weeks later, I get another picture, it's the same one, from a different address. So I knew it was one of my friends playing games with me, but I couldn't figure it out. I ended up finding out who it was. But it took a while, but it was funny, because that's like everything now. It's, oh, did he ever tell you he was in Jaws? So every time we go out, we just make fun of it now. And so many people still, you say Jaws, and they're like, oh, and they ask you where you're from. Because in my trucking business, I'm talking with people all over the country. So I'll say to them, oh, it's It's where the movie Jaws was. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Everybody know. What they like to hear is, oh, is that where Kennedy lives?
Yeah.
That's what they always say, you know. And I'm like, no, that was in Hyannis, but Jacqueline Kennedy lived here. And then John Kennedy, his plane crashed right off about a half a mile off from where they lived up in Gay Head, Aquina. So yeah, it's just one of these things now. I'm 61 years old, and it's just like it happened yesterday, you know. So 95, I had a few strokes, got bit by a tick. I tell you that story. So I have a pretty good memory, but I did forget some things. But
well, it's been almost 45 years since the film came out. So I mean, that's completely understandable.
It came out in 75. We filmed it in 74.
Right.
It was fun. I know that Universal was pissed because they spent so much money here.
Yeah.
You know, they didn't think it was going to be that much, and
and they went so.
Had they known it'd be this big, they probably would have stayed longer.
Right, and you know they went so far over their shooting schedule too.
Yeah.
You know there was that, and they were pissed at them about that.
Yeah.
You know, now you mentioned Chris Rebello.
Yeah.
And you know, unfortunately, you know he passed several years ago from a hunting accident, and y'all were friends. So, exactly, what was he like? He as your friend, and just in real life.
Anybody that knew Chris, or anybody that became a friend of him, fell in love with him right away. He was a guy that always had. I'd never seen him in a bad mood. He constantly smiling, and I think I was telling you, joking. We would go out, and we'd come home not come home, but we'd go out after the bars even when we were older, and we'd park somewhere, and he'd talk for an hour or two straight, one joke after another, just like a comedian, right? I don't know how he could remember them all. I can't remember 2 jokes, you know? Or if I remember it, it's like I get it all wrong. So he was unbelievably comical and great friend, always helping people out. He was great with sports. So we all played a lot of sports together, and just one boy that went way too young. He had a heart attack while he was hunting, and I can't remember how old he was when when that happened. But he was a piece of work. Chris, man, he's got a great family. Yeah.
Are you still friends with his family?
Yeah. Todd is, like I said, Todd Rebello's his brother. And sometimes, I don't know if people see him on ESPN, but he's in the poker. He does poker.
Oh, okay.
Goes out to he goes all over, but what's the big one there?
Oh yeah, the big one. Now I do watch.
You know,
I do watch the poker.
He gets involved in that. Yeah, it never got to the end. Although a neighbor right over here came in second about 5 years ago.
Really?
Yeah. Sylvia, what the hell's his first name? His mother was my wife's client. Yeah, he came in second place, man. He went all in and ended up. I stayed up. It was over 24 hours. I watched it while I was working. Then I stayed up all night, and when I was in the shower, I had the thing to go to work in the morning. I had the TV blasting. Yeah, and then it was they were on the last table. That was pretty funny. Jesse Sylvia, that's who it was. And I remember watching him. It was crazy when he went all in and didn't make it. I'm like, oh. But that was Chris. And Tommy, he and I were in the same class. He was from Edgartown. I was from Oak Bluffs. But when we went to high school, each town had its own elementary school. High school was all combined. And so that's where we really hung out, was in high school. His dad owned a garage in Edgartown and a Texaco station. My dad had a garage in Oak Bluffs with a Texaco station. So we had a little something in common, and we used to chat a lot, and never really hung out. But what was pretty cool is first couple of days of being in the high school, on the PA system, it came over, it said Rene BenDavid and Tommy Mello report to central office. So I knew right away it was something to do with Jaws because the two of us were involved in that. And we had still been shooting all the way up till just before we went in and school. So we had gotten a call to go down and watch some of the scenes that when they were blowing up the shark and whatnot. Thought that was pretty cool. But it was nice. The whole gang was great. Everybody that worked for him, everybody was so friendly.
What was Steven Spielberg like? Because I imagine you got to talk to him quite a few times. What was he like?
He was always so busy. And so when we're talking, it was just, like I show you that cool picture when we're on the beach with all of us kids there and we're talking about a scene and he was telling us what to do and whatnot. And he was, I'm trying to remember, because it was so long ago, some of the things, but I remember we did some coal hogging and getting little necks and stuff for him. And we didn't have a license, we just go out and get them, you know, it's funny. It's like doing our thing as an islander, you know, but just hanging out and being there and listening to him doing his thing with everybody, it was pretty intense. Just, I didn't sit and talk with him personally by myself with him like this. It was always with a group, excuse me, and then we always were on the side as well, watching him do different scenes. But it's pretty amazing just to watch how everything is made. And watching the movie, I can pick out, and I'm sure other people probably could too, I pick out scenes where it's flat calm, and they did the scene, and then in the same scene, all of a sudden it's rough. So you know it was 2 different days that it was filmed, you know, and I'm like, oh, you know, every time I watch this movie, it seemed like I see somebody else that I didn't see before. And I don't go looking for it, it's just, it's always on something, TNT, you know, and I get hit up by, you know, texts, emails, oh, I saw you last night, this and that. It's pretty funny. But yeah, so my claim to fame, I'm still waiting for that next call. I was in Jaws too, you know.
Really?
When they came here, I was a scuba diver, okay? So, and I don't remember much about Jaws 2. I remember being down in Negatown on the dock, and there was like 3 or 4 of us that were scuba divers. We had full Johnny suits on, and it was hot. We had to keep jumping in the water, right? And the whole, I guess you would say the director was one, and whoever the producers, whoever was there, was totally different than the first one. I didn't think they was personable at all, and maybe because they felt that they got shafted or something on the first one. They spent too much money. They want to get in, get out, and get it done. But every time we did something, they didn't want to see our face because they were going to put someone else in our spot. And when they went down to Florida and did most of the filming down there, I guess. But I never actually went out and dove in the water. Everything I did was right at the dock, and so I was only in it because you know what happened, if I'm not mistaken, it was only like a couple weeks into it, and then the director either left, quit, or something.
Yeah, he left because the original story for Jaws 2, Amity was supposed to be all boarded up, like nobody was supposed to be coming here from the shark attacks and everything.
Oh, yeah?
And there was a disagreement about the way the story should go. And Roy Scheider and the original director, I don't remember his name, there was a conflict between them two. They didn't like each other.
Is that what it was? You could see it was definitely a different mood.
And in the beginning, they had shot, you know, like you said, 2 weeks worth.
Yeah. And
one of the original scenes that is still in there is when the shark fin comes up and you see the town right there, and it's right after Brody and his family are at the hotel grand opening. It's that scene that's right after that, because the camera pans, it shows the sailboat, and it shows the water, and you see the shark start to come up, and then it goes like that.
Yeah.
And the shark fin comes out, and you see it, and you see the town.
I don't know if I've ever watched the whole movie of Jaws 2.
The opening scene where they shot with the divers at the wreck of the Orca, That was actually in California, and the wreck is
Oh, I
actually,
thought it might have been Florida. They went down.
they did shoot some scenes in Florida,
Yeah.
if I'm not mistaken. But the wreck of the technical Orca 3 is actually still in California.
No
It's actually
kidding.
still at the bottom. It's a popular dive attraction. It
Wow.
actually is. Now, granted, it's fallen apart now. It's barely
There was
recognizable.
parts of one of them on the beach in Menemsha.
Yeah,
For years.
yeah. Lynn Murphy,
Yeah.
he had bought it, and the SS garage sale was there. And from what I've been told, he buried all kinds of stuff out there, and there's
Yeah.
a lot of stuff out there. You know, they had a lot of the barrels.
Right.
I've actually got one.
That's got to be cool.
It's actually they're really heavy too.
Yeah.
They're heavier than what you would think they would be. And I'm
Yeah, they're
friend-
wood, right?
Do it.
They wood?
They're plastic.
Oh, they are plastic?
Yeah, they were only
Wow.
made for 3 years. They're food grade barrels is actually what they are.
Uh-huh.
And what would come in them is like grain, kind of like a pickle barrel, you know, kind of like
Yeah.
that. I don't remember the DOT number off the top of my head. I think it's 3403 if I remember right. But on the bottom, it's stamped "Born Free." They're born. That was the name of the company, and they only made them for 3 years.
Wow.
You can actually see those very same barrels in the first 2 Police Academy movies, if you've ever seen that.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I've never noticed them, so.
yeah. But
I love talking to people like you because I never really got into the Jaws thing, and I didn't even remember my lines, and people would tell me my lines. I'm like, oh yeah, this is what you say. I'm like, oh really? I couldn't remember.
you know, talking about your scene, that was, like I told you, that was my grandfather's favorite scene because, you know, like, hurry up and get that done.
Yeah.
You know, and he would always laugh at that.
Yeah.
And he would always laugh. And, you know, me and him were talking not too long before he died, the last time he and I watched the film together. And he said, you know, I wonder if he still lives on the island. And I said, you know, I wonder the same thing. And then, you know, several months later, you know, I get in contact.
I know it, huh?
And then, you know, we started talking and everything. And then my intention was to bring my grandfather with me so he could meet you because he loved that scene. And then, you know, unfortunately, he got sick with pneumonia and then he passed away in August, you know.
Yeah.
And so this trip has really meant a lot to me to come up here. And I really appreciate your hospitality and everything for, you know,
I wish I
letting me
could
come
spend
here.
more time. It's just busy time right now, you know.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to come
So,
back.
Yeah,
At
that's
some
good.
point. I'm going to come back, definitely.
Yeah.
Um,
You should come in the summertime
yeah.
so you can see what the Jaws Bridge looks like with everybody jumping off it.
Well, see,
all the
I
kids.
saw pictures of that, everybody jumping off
Yeah.
and everything.
It's
Now,
pretty crazy.
that bridge was remodeled, was it not?
Yeah, that's a state road, so the state came in and redid the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
The other one was all wood. This
Yeah.
one has a lot of concrete with it.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So both of them they did. There was 2. There's a smaller bridge and then Jaws Bridge, they call it. It's funny how it took on that name, and it's always been the Jaws Bridge ever since.
Yeah, if you look on the online, that's actually what it pops up as the
Jaws
Jaws
Bridge.
Bridge.
Yeah.
It's not the actual name of the bridge. It just pops up the Jaws Bridge, and it gives you directions right to it. And when I first arrived on the island, you know, I was driving around, like I told you, you know, just looking at everything.
Yeah,
I drove across that thing 3 times, didn't even realize what it was.
that was the one. Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't even realize, because I was thinking to myself, you know, where the hell is this bridge at, you know?
Yeah.
And I forgot it'd been remodeled in most of its concrete now.
Right.
Because I was thinking to myself, where is this bridge? You know? And I was like, I know it was around this area because here's the estuary pond. So where is
Right.
it, you know?
Yeah. So you went to Menemsha,
Yeah, that was the first place to stop.
and they the building that where Quint was, they had built that for the movie, and they took it down.
Uh-huh.
So that's not there. And, everything else is pretty much in place.
Yeah.
You know, the old village.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I was reading where the township, when they tore it down, they made them even go to the extent of replacing every bit of trash that was on that lot.
Huh.
I'd read that. I don't know if the trash part's true, but that's what I'd read. You know, everything is still there. Some of the boats are still there floating and being used. That's kind of mind-blowing.
Yeah.
There was actually a picture of Quint's shack being built from a distance. Actually, it's up on the hill. And there is a it's a white boat, and it has a pulpit and a fly bridge on it. And a lot of people think that's the Orca in the Warlock being turned into the Orca like mid-transformation, but it's not. That's actually a boat, and I don't remember the name of the man that owned it, but it was called the 3Ds, and that was part.
That wasn't Lynn's, was it?
No, it wasn't Lynn's.
Okay.
Although I do have a picture of Lynn towing the Orca.
Okay. See if my wife can bring out my book. Let me see. I'm just going to text my wife so I don't have to go in.
Okay, that's fine.
And then I don't even know where it is. I told you the story. I'll tell you again since we have it on the film. So Peter Benchley's original book. I had it, and I got a bunch of people to sign it. You know, Robert Shaw. I didn't see Robert Shaw during the movie, the filming. Richard Dreyfuss, I didn't see him either. It's just timing. I did my things, they did theirs, you know. So Lorraine Gary, Roy Scheider, Steven Spielberg, Teddy Grossman, who was the stuntman, who lost his leg. Barbara Bass is the girl that hired me. So long story short, I had this book, and for years I was in my basement and with all the autographs. And one of the times I did a little major cleaning, I figured I tossed it away because I hadn't seen it in years. And I lost some other things, which later on I told you I had found it was returned to me. Somebody must have picked them out of the trash or something. But I don't know if it was it was within the last year. My wife was cleaning it in the eaves, just doing some cleaning out, getting rid of some of our things from our kids when we had to store all their junk and toys and whatnot. And so, lo and behold, she says, "You're not going to believe what I found." Here's my Jaws book that I have all the signatures in it. I couldn't believe it. So now I have it back. And hopefully I'll hang on to it a little longer.
Right.
Yeah. Now look at the little guy trying to jump out. Yeah, at least he's not barking.
He's cute.
Let's see if she texts me back.
So you had mentioned Roy Scheider. Did you get to talk to him? Like any?
Yeah, and I can't remember much about that, but we did talk. Matter of fact, his daughter Maximilia came to the island.
Really?
Yeah, and myself, Chris Rebello, and Todd Rebello, his brother, we all took her down to flying horses and hung out. It was pretty funny. She was young. We were all young. She said I was 14. You know, and I can't remember how old she was, but she's passed away too.
Really?
Both her and Roy, they had some blood disease of some sort.
Huh.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember exactly where I was at in 2008 when they announced live that Roy had died.
Really?
Yeah, I remember exactly where I was at. I was in the car. I was going to school. It was actually where I was going. And had the radio on. And all of a sudden, they come over the thing and said Roy Scheider had died.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it because I knew that he was due for.
He wasn't that old.
No, he wasn't. No, he was only. He was in his 70s.
Yeah.
He was not that old.
But it was some sort of blood disease, I think that. I don't know, leukemia or what. I'm not sure. So. Yeah. But.
And, you know, he was in a lot of TV shows like Sequest and all that. And, you know, originally he was kind of reluctant to come back and do Jaws 2 because of how the first one went, because of how long it had taken to do everything, you know. And he said in an interview while filming the first one, he said, it's not the time that it takes to take the shot, it's the time that it takes to take the take that it takes to take the shot. You know, and I probably just butchered that quote.
Yeah.
But, you know,
That's pretty funny.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. So.
and, you know, we were talking about the sharks and your father being the harbor master. And your father is the whole reason you and I are sitting here right now.
Yeah.
And, you know, unfortunately, he can't be with us because he passed away.
Right.
And, you know, we'll get to the reason we're sitting here in just a minute. But why don't you take like just a few minutes and just talk about your dad? Like, what was he like? You know, like, you know, how, just about your dad.
Yeah.
Anything you'd like to say?
He was.
How are you?
He was unbelievable guy. Oh, thank you. Where was it? So I have a bunch of the autographs in here. You can look through it if you'd like.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a little bit worn, but looks good though for the shark thing. So yeah, my dad he taught me everything I know, you know, and was always really into the boating things, and he was one of the guys that liked to grab the spotlight. If there was something going on, he wanted to be part of it.
Right.
So, you know, when this went on with Jaws, he was like, oh, I'm right in on it. Back in the day when the Ted Kennedy thing went on over in Chappaquiddick,
Yeah.
he was right out. He knew a lot that went on there, even behind the scenes stuff. And he was so proud that I was in that movie. It was unbelievable. And he talking with Joe Alves, he used to talk to Joe Alves like he was his best buddy, you know. They got to be, you know, pretty friendly. And when I don't know exactly how the gun ended up being in the movie, like if it was Joe that asked him for it, I'm not sure. However, my dad had introduced me to Bob Mattey, and Bob Mattey was the one that built the shark. And at the time, I was 14, I had a little Honda 70 mini bike. No, not QA. I can't think of the model. But anyway, it was one that you could register. So Bob Mattey ended up buying my mini bike from me and used that to get around the island when he was here. So God knows where that is now.
Well, you know, that's kind of like Quint's truck in the deleted scene. It was a 1963 Chevrolet C10 pickup.
I think I seen that for sale recently.
Really?
Yeah, somewhere. I'm trying to think. I've seen it somewhere, and I don't know if it was on Facebook or where it was. I could have sworn it was the Jaws one. Yeah.
Really? Well,
if I do find out.
If you find out, let me know.
I will.
Yeah.
Oh.
You know, Brody's Blazer, you know, the gold one.
Yeah.
It went missing.
That's the one I'm talking about. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, I apologize. That's what I was talking about, the Blazer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I know the original one had went missing for a while, and somebody here had redone one up like his. And I'd always heard that one of the production crew had taken, one person had took the Blazer and the other one had took Quint's truck. That's what I'd always heard.
I don't remember Quint's truck now, you know? Yeah. Now that you say that, I totally mixed that up. I was thinking of the Blazer.
Oh.
But, yeah, so that was part of it. With my father, he owned that dealership. You know, he wanted that spotlight, and anytime anybody came down, and oh yeah, Jackie O would come down, Jackie Onassis, she'd call him up. Can I park in the, yeah, so he'd give her parking right in the front. She'd go into town. And just that, he just liked to be, okay, like he was a big shot, you know?
Right.
And he was funny. You would never, he's one guy that was tough. If he did something or said something, he wouldn't never tell you he's sorry though. He was hard.
Right.
But yeah, I remember Dan Aykroyd. He was down here and he had one of the cars from the movie, The Blues Brothers.
Really?
Yeah, the Dodge, and we had a Dodge dealership, and they used to bring it in, and they would work on it in the back shop, the guys. I was like, wow, I actually had permission to do some deer hunting on his property.
Really?
Up in Chilmack, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. So he's still around. There's a few people here. The movie stars come here, and I guess the executives and CEOs go to Nantucket. Ted Danson. You see, I was working at his house doing some carpentry back in '95 when he just bought the house, him and Mary Steenburgen. And I was doing some renovation with it. I worked for a contractor at the time. And I remember that there was a Land Rover, a green Land Rover in the garage. And he got it as, I think he was retiring from, or he got it from a gift, either way, from the people from Cheers. And I think he still got it.
Really?
I think he still drives that thing around.
Well, I've seen two around here since I've been here.
Yeah.
One's in really good condition, and another one it's still in really good condition considering its age, but this other one is like showroom quality. And they're both green.
Yeah.
The one that I had seen that was showroom quality but still really good condition was over in Edgartown. Was in there. And the other one that was showroom quality that I had seen driving around was actually up around here.
Yeah.
Is where I'd seen it.
I've never seen Ted cruising around at all, but I know that people have told me that they've seen him around. And I've seen the Jeep. Whether it's the same one or not, I don't know.
Right.
But I've seen it's exactly the same, Could be different. That was many years ago.
Right.
So those things are collector's items now.
Yeah.
So
you'd shown me a picture of your dad with one of the sharks.
Okay, I have a picture of, I think that was in the second movie though. No?
I believe it was the first because the shark had the jowls, where in the second one it didn't.
Let me, I can look and see. Let me try and get in my album. I should have been more prepared and had all this out.
Oh, it's fine. Like I said, you can email me whatever pictures you want and I'll throw them up on the screen.
Yeah, I'm going to have to do that.
Yeah, that's fine.
I just been a little busy and sidetracked. So I don't know if that's the picture.
Yeah, that's it. That's it, because it was covered. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
That's the picture.
So I don't know if the camera can get it.
Yeah, you can just email it to me. I can just throw it up on the screen.
On there. Yeah. Yeah. So I had a few of them there.
Yeah, it's just so cool. Yeah, that's the Jaws 2 shark right there.
Yeah. Yeah, that is?
Yeah, that's the Jaws 2 shark.
Okay. I don't know who that is. I tell you, that's it. So many people know everything about that movie. They can tell you every little, like you. It's like, guys are nuts, man. Holy crap, But you are coming out. So, yeah. So we're gonna see. We're gonna do what's the next one? Another Jaws coming out.
Well, maybe one day like you can just walk down and be like, hey, I was in the first and second one,
Yeah.
Now with your dad being the harbor master at the time.
Oh yeah.
He was involved with the coming and going of the boats and the shark rigs and everything else, and he was responsible for a major change in the design of how the sharks worked.
He had, from what he told me, he made them change from, they had oil in the, because it was all hydraulic, the way that shark worked, and they changed it to air, so that way, if there was ever a leak, it wouldn't be pollutant. And there were a lot of, the shark broke down quite a bit.
Yeah, it never wanted to work.
So, yeah, but he that was one of his things. He told him, that's what he told me. So, whether it happened or not, but supposedly they were using air instead of hydraulic fluid.
Right.
To run them.
When they tested the sharks in the pools in California, they worked perfectly.
Yeah.
Because it was a controlled environment.
And fresh water.
Exactly. When they got it down here, everything started to rust, and it was just the ocean just pounding against it. Never wanted to work, and like the shark could be up for a second, then they'd take a nosedive, go down.
Yeah.
And they'd have to send divers to go down there and find the damn thing, and bring it back up. And I was reading one time, I don't remember who it was, but it was a diver that had went down, find it, and it was just so dark down there he couldn't really see, and he comes right up on it and thought it was a real shark.
Really?
Yeah, for a few split seconds.
Wow.
Yeah. But that's really cool that that's how your dad was involved in all that.
Yeah.
Now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, which is the whole reason me and you are sitting here today.
Yeah.
What is in the case? How'd you acquire it? And what is the story behind it?
Well, my dad says that he got it from a friend of his. I don't even think he bought it. A friend that he knew from way, way back. Knew my dad loved to swordfish and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
So he ended up, I don't know if he gave it to him or if my father ended up buying it, but it's the Harpoon Gun right here that Robert Shaw used. And it's somehow it ended up in the movie. How? I don't know. I can't give you that answer exactly. But all I can say is my dad knew Joe Alves pretty well at the time, and just not as a longtime friend. He just knew him through the movie things.
Right.
But maybe they struck up a conversation, and my father might have mentioned that he had that. And because I know there had to be more than one, because if one fell in the water or something, they'd have to have a backup.
Right. And that's one thing.
So it's ironic that my dad had one of them,
Right. And that's one thing that I'd really love to know. But the thing is, it'd be so hard to pinpoint at which point the gun was used in what scene. That's the thing, because, it's all from a distance, and it's never as close up.
Yeah. So it's pretty amazing that we can even, it's still here. This is like a major prop from the,
And it's in really great condition, too. That's the thing.
Yeah. So.
Do you want to give us a demonstration on how it all goes together?
Yeah, I guess we could.
Okay.
Yeah. You got to bear with me again,
That's fine.
See what's what.
We've got time.
Yeah. All right, let's see. I might need your hand again.
All right.
When it comes to, because I got to pop this open here. My father was good at this. Now, this is where, okay.
There you go, you got it.
Went in easier this time, huh?
First try.
That's not good. Oh, pull that down. There we go.
Yeah, it's got a trick to it.
Okay. All right. So this is the gun. And there were, I don't even know what the hell you call those, spreaders?
Yeah, those are spreaders. And there's actually two different sizes I figured out.
They go on the front of it.
Yeah.
And that's the, well, he didn't use them in the movie. He just
clipped one on.
Yeah, he took, let me, I'll take that out of here. All he did was put one of these on and had the line straight to it.
Yeah.
See if I can get it on there. So that's it, Wow. Yep. I don't have too many pictures with the gun itself, but here I am.
But you got a video now.
Yeah.
And like I said, when we get done, we'll rig it all up and we'll take pictures of you with it.
Yeah. So, here it is. It's a 30-30.
38.
I mean, Is it 38?
Yeah, 38 special.
Yeah, you're right. I keep saying 30-30 because my dad had a 30-30 too. 38 special. Let me see. Shoots blanks. That's the size of the shell. I don't think we're going to shoot one here.
Nah. You don't want the cops called.
Yeah, it is pretty loud. I know that my dad had a few people that were excited to shoot it, and he did it right off his deck at home.
Right.
Yeah.
He just didn't care.
And he used to ham it up. Boy, one day, Rebello was over, and they had Wheels TV here.
Really?
And they were doing a video of Jim coming to purchase the gun. And my father wouldn't budge on it, on the price, so they were going back and forth and talking. And it did come on TV, but it was, I'm trying to remember, that was a long time ago. Jim probably has a tape of that.
Probably.
Somewhere. Yeah, I remember I took pictures of him, filming it. Yeah, so other than that, it's been sitting at the house and waiting for somebody like you to come by.
How many people's come to see and try to purchase the gun before I came along?
Boy, over the years, it's been several. A lot of people come to just look at it and want to touch and feel it.
Right. I mean,
my father was always the kind of guy, sure, man. I bring him down. My mother, she's like really quiet. No, I don't, what are you doing that for, And I'm like, my father, when he was alive, come on over, no problem. He'd pull it right out, put the shell right in it.
He just didn't care. He just shot it off the floor.
Yeah, he wouldn't put anything on it. But if you shot it, I tell you, those people right there freak right out. Everybody would. But yeah, he was thrilled to let people hold it and whatnot. And it's amazing. People came from all over the place to look at it, and check it out. And I don't know. It's been different now that my father's gone. Things are a little different, obviously, but what are we gonna do?
Well, part of it, he's still here.
He is.
He's still.
He shows up in my bird feeders, the cardinal. I always see the
My
right
grandfather
cardinal.
believed the same thing.
Yeah,
he did.
I see him. Every morning he comes here. I got to fill him up because I'm dry, but he's here every morning, checking me out, making sure everything's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My grandfather believed the exact same thing, and I saw a cardinal right before I left, and I saw.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and when I was up at the lighthouse where the billboard was at, and I'd parked, and I was one of the first people there, and there's like a little rock garden like thing up there. It's kind of in a circle, and I'd put the Jeep in the park, put it in first gear, put the emergency brake on, cut it off, and I looked up because looked over to my right to see where my camera and everything was at, and I looked back up, and there was a cardinal sitting right there. Yeah, and I thought to myself, yeah, he's here,
Yeah, that's amazing.
It really is.
Yeah, but I wish I had more props to show you. But this is the one.
Yeah, and, it's like
funny. I had a necklace on, and I had a diver's watch, and who would have known? 50 years later, oh, you don't have that watch? People, because I know Tommy Mellor still has his necklace. I don't have my. I'm like, I was wearing a necklace. Oh yeah, it's like, so when I see the movie and see the pictures now, I realize that, but I don't know where that watch would be or anything. Right. But people did ask me. I'm like, why would I even hold that? I never thought it was going to be a big thing. I was just doing my fun thing. I was a teenager,
right?
And never ever thought it would be as big as it is. And I don't think anybody did.
No, the studio didn't expect it to be as big as it was.
Yeah.
Like they really didn't. They expected it to fail. They poured all their money into another movie at the time. I don't remember what else was filming, but they poured all their money into it, and of course they ended up pouring a lot of money in the Jaw.
Oh yeah, yeah. So, yeah. But A lot of memories.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Here's to you, Dad. Yep.
I know it's got to be kind of a bittersweet moment to kind of
Yeah.
see it go, you know,
Yeah.
because it's been with you and your dad and your mother for so long, you know.
My son over there.
How are you? Pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Take a moment here.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Well, yeah, that's fine, Rennie.
Yeah.
You all right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, take as long as you need. That's fine.
What's that? Yeah.
Hmm.
So here we are, ready for another movie. Anytime you're ready, Steven Spielberg, give me a call. I'll give you my phone number if you want.
Oh man.
It's funny because one of the girls, I met her once. Trying to think of her name. Good friend of ours, he just passed away. Eric de Betancourt was dating Spielberg's, what's the, DreamWorks? That's his company. She was the head of it.
Really?
I'm trying to think of her name. I can't think of it. And she would fly back and forth. Like Eric, she was dating a guy here on the island who was a little younger than me. And he was flying back, living life larger and golfing all the time. Going every other week, he was in L.A.
Right.
And all of a sudden, he just passed away. Heart attack, I guess. Oh, no, was it a heart attack or something? Heart attack? I can't remember, but he was way too young. So I kept texting him. He'd be posting on Facebook, you know, and I kept saying, "Hey, you sure you don't want to take the gun with you this time? You know, go show Steven."
Yeah.
But never happened. Yeah. So I love the shirt.
I'm glad you like it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I got some other stuff for you. It just didn't come in time, and when I get it in, I'll mail it to you. I've got your address and everything.
Yeah.
So let's get this thing wrapped up. So with the line and everything on it, that way we can get some pictures of you with it.
All right. Well, we don't have to put it all on.
You sure?
No. You know, here, just it'll slide on with that. Just take one of these right here. I think we'll slide that.
Yeah, it should slide on. Yeah, slide on.
Just go like that. Yeah, I'll just hold it.
That actually looks really cool like that.
It does, doesn't it?
Yeah, let me get my camera.
Yeah. Yeah, Dave had one. I was looking right down the barrel of it, and I took a picture of him. You know? I just don't want that barrel to come off.
You can do however many poses you want. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Let me.
Yeah. That's it. That's a great idea. I think I'm going to have to. There we go. Whoops, went the wrong way, son of a gun.
I'm still taking pictures. I'm gonna get plenty for you.
All right, I'm gonna take it off. There we go. That's it. Okay. Do these go back in there like that too? No. You want these inside as well?
They actually won't fit inside.
Oh, they won't?
I got the bag.
Okay. There we go.
I got a lot of good ones of you with it, Rennie. And when I get back tonight, I'll upload them to my computer, and I'll be able to send them to my phone then, and I'll text them to you. You all right?
Yep.
You know, like I said, I know it's got to be kind of a real bittersweet moment to see it go.
It's just part of my dad.
Right. I get that. You know, my dad, he died in...
I get some. All right. Where to now?
Well, got to shoot the last scene of... We got it all closed up and, you know,
Yeah.
just got to shoot the last thing of me and you talking, which is literally, it'll take less than 2 minutes of...
Did you see anything good in here?
Yeah, I did. I saw a lot of stuff in there. Saw a lot of stuff in there.
One guy, BenDavid. That was Roy Scheider. Maybe that's the way you spell it. Oh, the honey. Bob Carlin, he was on the honey wagon. That was the food truck.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah. Jesus. Teddy.
Griffin?
Yeah. Who's this one over here? Steven Spielberg. Thanks, Ben, for being in Jaws. Oh, I did get one from Bob Mattey. Yeah, special effects. Fred Dennen? Who the hell is that? I don't remember all these guys. Yeah.
I'm going to take care of it, Rennie.
I know you.
I promise you that.
I'm glad you got it, man. You know, it's like...
It's humbling. It really is.
I wish your grandfather could see it.
Yeah, I wish he could too. Man, he would have he would have blown
He would have freaked out, man. You really would have. Oh boy.
And
Yeah.
if my grandfather and your father were still alive, man, I got a feeling that they could do nothing but just talk
Oh yeah.
and just talk and talk and talk and talk.
Yeah.
And, I really appreciate, number one, you taking my message that day. And, you talking about everything. And I really appreciate you letting me be the one to get the gun.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate you letting me doing this interview with you.
Hey, I'm humbled by it, It's a great opportunity just to meet somebody who really knows and cares about it.
Right.
So.
It's like I told you, this ain't about me. This right here, this ain't about me.
Yeah.
This is about you. It's about your dad. About this gun.
Yeah.
And, again, thank you, Rene.
Thank you.
Like I said, I'm going to take care of it. I am. I'm never going to let it out of my sight.
Well, so when you taking off?
I leave tomorrow night at 9 o'clock.
Oh, there.
My ferry leaves at 9. I have to be there 30
minutes ahead. Yeah.
ahead.
Yeah.
So.
And then where you going? Right back?
Yeah, I'm going to go right back. I'll probably stop back in Virginia Beach for a couple of days.
So you're going to just drive straight through? Or how do you don't go straight shot? You take your time?
Yeah, I'm going to take my time.
I don't blame you.
Yeah. It is a long-ass drive.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we'll stay in touch.
Oh, I will. I will.
Yeah.
You're my friend.
Yeah.
You're my friend, Rene.
I know New Orleans is on our bucket list. How far are you from there?
From New Orleans?
That's a little ways, isn't it?
Let's see. Alabama. Then you have Mississippi right there. So.
Because New Orleans is way down.
Yeah.
You're up north.
It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm up in upper Alabama out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then New Orleans is right there. So it's a diagonal, but I think it's like
it's probably
8.5, 9-hour drive. I think.
Yeah.
So and it's like I told you, if you ever pass through.
Yeah.
Open invitation. Open invitation. All you gotta do is shoot me a text like, "Hey, John, I'm passing through."
So a couple of friends of mine sold their house. They lived up in Marshfield, Mass, south of Boston, and they're traveling the country. They bought a fifth wheel and a mobile home, the fifth wheel style. So they bought a place. I don't know if it was Alabama or was it Mississippi? It's right on the water down there.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't going to buy another place, but then they fell in love with this area. Really laid back, not far from the water. And they bought a home, and they were telling us that yearly taxes is going to be $250 a year. I'm like, really? Let me, hold on to that.
Yeah, I got that. Yeah, just unclip it. Yeah.
Well, I hope some of this comes out.
It's going to be good. And like I said, when I get it all done and together.
I see a copy of what you get done.
Yeah, like I said, I'm going to make it private.
So you got pictures of doing the Orca?
Yeah, I've got pictures of doing it. It's all over my Instagram and Facebook.
I got to get on that Instagram. You're not. What's your Instagram? How the hell are you?
Orca_rebuild.
I don't think I'm on that. I'm not big on Instagram. I got to learn more.
Right.
My he's unbelievable with Instagram. He does more business with it. The plus sign? No, that's not what I want. I'm in the wrong spot. Get out of here. All right, so if I'm gonna search here, I gotta go here. Go over here.
Yeah, magnifying glass.
Yeah.
All right.
What is it?
Orca_rebuild. Right there. Yeah, because I got the little Halloween thing going on right now.
All right. Oh yeah.
And then I got my little links right there. It'll take you to everything.
Really?
Yeah, it'll take you to my Instagram. I have an Etsy shop, which is not open right now.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. That's actually, I got a lot of stuff that I'm
You,
gonna
you
send
sell
you.
stuff or what?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. If you actually scroll down, I've actually got water bottles that look like
Holy shit, man.
yeah. There's actually my
This
barrel.
is all your stuff?
Yeah, and if you click on that picture of Robert Shaw right there,
Right here?
yeah, I did a Photoshop, and Slash, the guitarist, actually shared it of Robert Shaw
Really?
when he would have been in the Navy for the Indianapolis. Yeah, like he shared it, and which I woke
So
up
that
one
was
morning.
true. He really was?
No, he wasn't in the Navy. That was
No, but this guy, the actor, supposedly was in the Navy. When
I
they,
believe he was in the Navy. Yeah, Robert Shaw.
Show me the way to go home. I'm tired, I wanna go to bed. I had a little drink about an hour ago, and it's gone right to my head. Wherever I may roam, by land, sea, or foam, you can always hear me singing this song. Show me the way to go home. Show me the way to go home. I'm tired, I wanna go to